Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again for another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. So of late, I've been really fascinated with zombies. I've always been a pretty big zombie player fan, but I was playing with a couple buddies the other night, and there was some pretty awesome combos going on with one of the zombie builds that one of the players was playing over here. So it was kind of got me thinking, and I started messing around online, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it really quick. This is currently the build that I'm using right now. The side deck isn't I'm kind of changing around the side deck right now, so I don't really pay attention too much to this. But this is the current build that I've been running for about a half week or so. It's been doing very, very well online, and it's awesome. I just totally forgot how much I really love playing this, and the engine is just awesome, and it's just a really fun deck. So this is personally how I run the deck, and it's been performing relatively well. Actually just bought the extra deck pieces. I was missing the Starving Venoms and the Dragon Necro Nether Souls. What else was I missing that I needed to pick up? Oh, and the suckers. I only had one sucker, so I need to get an additional sucker. So really quickly here, while talking about that, while I was investing in my suckers here, I noticed that here on TCG Player, and normally the majority of my cards I usually strictly get off TCG Player because they're usually relatively more affordable than eBay, but this was not the case for sucker here. I needed two here, and you can see the cheapest, and again, I always go first edition, so it's around 10 bones right here for two here on TCG Player for a 2-stack. And if you go over here to eBay, I was actually very fortunate enough. This seller was actually selling them for just under 7 bones, so I was able to save a good 6 bones on that purchase right there. So it's pretty cool. So always check. I mean, they say kind of like the top tiers is like Troll and Toad, eBay, TCG Player. That's definitely the case. But I definitely would shop around, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do. I normally don't, but I'm really happy that I decided to do that with Sucker because I was able to save 6 bones, which is pretty awesome. This card in general is kind of one of the main reasons why I really loved getting back into zombies. A lot of people forget about this first effect here, where you can basically Storm of the Monarch tribute your opponent's monsters when you have Zombie World out. If you want to go out, bust out Balroach a really slow, classic way, you can tribute off their monsters. That's kind of a combo that I don't think people really talk about a whole lot. It's not like the most effective thing, but when you're in a pinch, it's kind of a cool thing you can do if you're not going to rip them out with Super Polymerization. Super Polymerization is another really great card. Reason why I like playing this, it's lifted to completely unlifted. Not restricted at all at 3 now, and it's just really great stuff. Vampire Sucker is awesome card artwork, and this was kind of one of the reasons that really drawed me in general. So just really awesome stuff. Just wanted to mention that really quick. Alright, so getting things kickstarted again. Really quickly, Mizuki. You can see I don't even run Mizuki in this current build here. I love Mizuki a lot. I've been trying to kind of figure out a build that I like to implement him, but I really like this card a lot, so I just want to really quickly do a flash review price on this. Of course, we have the Secret, Duelist Saga, Ultra, and DTs on the top being the best rarities. Go ahead and review the Secret Rare first. These ideally being the highest rarity are the most desirable. I personally have never even had Secrets, so I really like them a lot. Premium Pack 2 is extremely old now, so these are relatively pricey and relatively hard to get too. This looks like there's an Italian one here for about 10 bones, lightly played, and then it goes up to about, well, these are actually all 3 of these are Italian, so that's pretty cool. Euro print stuff. About 12 bones for the first English prints, and then jumps up to about 13, 14 plus. Only 2 pages here on the market, and that's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's move on to the dual terminals, which definitely, don't get me wrong, I love Duelist Saga. I think it's really great, but right under the Secret, I would definitely have to give the spot to the DTs. The DTs, again, Konami has not pushed any kind of communication about remanufacturing or producing dual terminal. Dual terminal reminds me a lot like Duelist Saga. Still, on its own merit alone, it's the only set that has that ultra rare laser beam Star Wars lightsaber looking rarity. Looks really great, very unique on its own merit alone. And it's the only set that has produced that rarity, just like kind of DT. And everyone loves DT. I've never really met players that don't like the DT rarities. So it looks like it's around roughly 4 bones if you factor in shipping, a little bit over, for DT Mizukis. And then kind of it's pretty much, yeah, about 5 bones after that across the board. Only 2 pages on the market. There is a 1-3 stack here for roughly around 5 plus, and that's going to be pretty much it for Mizuki. Moving on, Pharaonic Guardian. So this is part of the first 13 core sets, Gen 1 and very nostalgic. Really, really, really amazing stuff here. We have so much great stuff. What I want to talk about is a few cards here, starting with Lava Golem. So, of course, there is the super rare dual terminal Lava Golems, which are pretty cool too, but I would definitely give the bigger piece of cake to the original OG print Dawning. That is a secret rare from Chronic Guardian. People say that this is kind of a meshable hand trap that people see floating around every once in a while. It's a pretty cool Tekken. I like the card a lot. Personally, for kind of field removal hand traps, I definitely go with Nibiru. Nibiru is definitely probably the best hand trap for that, and then of course Ash Blossom's making some really awesome plays in the meta right now. But this is a healthier alternative, really cool, and again, just amazing artwork. And of course, back in the day, we only got 2 secret rares per core set, and the secret rare was the ceiling. That was the highest rarity back in the day. So amazing collectability on this. Unlimiteds are about 9 bones, and there is 4 pages here on the market. See if we can find a first edition. The first editions are going for a pretty nice price point. Increased a little bit. It's been a while since I've reviewed this card, but roughly around 26-ish, 30 bones is pretty much the starting market price for the first editions, and there's only 4 pages on the market, and quickly jumps to about 40 plus towards the end of the 3rd page. So pretty incredible stuff. Again, there is a dual terminal super rare. If you guys want to check that out, that would definitely be. Some people like the super rares better. I personally, again, I like the secret rares just because it's original print. It's higher rarity technically, but DT hollow foils look really, really nice in general, even more so than normal DTs. So that's pretty great stuff. The next card that I wanted to review in here is going to be Don Zalug. I used to play this hand destruction deck with like this card and Spirit Reaper and Drop Off and Drastic Drop Off, and was it Robin Goblin, Robin Zombie or something like that. Really old stuff, really fun. And I've always just loved Don Zalug. It goes all the way back to like Cookie Cutter Chaos era. Really great history on this. And unfortunately, we did get a censorship. The OCG got a little bit more violent weapons or something, I believe, in their artwork. But still really, really cool and just a great, amazing old school card. And it's seeing some really great price points here. We can see Unlimited standing at 9 bones starting market price. And there is 5 pages here on the market. And the first edition is a whopping 25 bones. And then when we get to the 3rd page, it just continues to trickle up after that. So pretty incredible stuff on Don Zalug. Definitely the best version of Don Zalug. I believe there's a Dark Beginning super rare, which would probably be the second. I don't know if there's a Dark Revs version or not, but I know there's a Dark Beginning super rare if I'm not mistaken. The next card that I want to review is going to be the poster child of the set. It's going to be Pumer. This is an amazing collectible card. As playability, it sucks. It blows. You're never really going to play this card unless there's some weird combo that comes out. But I love the artwork. I love the throne. I like how he looks. He looks like a monster from like Resident Evil or something. Really, really cool stuff. Again, this set's extremely ancient, and these in 1st edition original ultra rare prints. I'm not usually a big fan. I kind of half-heartedly, jokingly always bag on ultra rares because I'm not really a fan of ultra rares at all. But when it comes to 1st edition old school ultra rares that are like Gen 1 part of the first 13 core sets, LOB through Rise of Destiny or Duelist Saga, of course, I'm really into those specific ultra rares. But so Pumer starting market price Unlimited is not really anything. They're about 4-ish 5 bones, but of course we're talking about collectability here, so we're always going to want to go 1st edition. And the first edition here we find is about 12 bones for a lightly played, and then it quickly trickles up to about 15, and then 19, and then about 23. Only 3 pages available on TCG Player here. Then it goes to about 24 and bottoms out about 35 plus. So it's not too terribly expensive. It's kind of at that price point where you're not really comfortable paying that much for just what it is. But remember, this is an extremely ancient card. It's got just complete blowout artwork. I really like the artwork a lot. I cannot emphasize that enough. And again, the first edition, what was it, 12 bones? Here's a lightly played for 12 bones. So kind of up to you guys on that, but definitely seeing this increase over time. All right, was that pretty much all I wanted? Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to review. Phonic Guardian General, so I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, this was a set that Dawn Gravekeepers, really big fanboy at Gravekeepers, so I would definitely recommend you guys go back and check the set, because there's a lot of awesome stuff. So, the Ice Barriers, I believe it is, structure deck is going to be coming out soon, and there's been some interesting price fluctuations in the Ice Barrier cards in general, more specifically, of course, for the high rarity stuff like the DT stuff. You know, we got Ultimate Rare Trishula, DT Trishula, DT Bryonic, DT Gungnir, and D&D Tiger King, DT Tiger King. There's a lot of awesome stuff here. For some reason, this specific secret rare from High Speed Riders is, you know, between 11 and 13 bones. I don't really know why, because there's like a bazillion secret reprints of Trishula, but apparently this one's the most expensive one for some reason. But you can see all of these prices for the higher end DT stuff is kind of, you know, trickling up quite a bit. So I don't know if this is just hype for the structure deck, or people just want to bling out, you know, their Ice Bear decks when they want to play this deck. But I wanted to talk about more specifically is Medium of the Ice Barrier. So this had a very small amount of hype, I want to say about a year, almost 2 years ago, where people kind of are teching this in as almost kind of a control card. Unfortunately, there is kind of this debate about you have to kind of be like behind in the game to play this card. You know, you have to control, your opponents to control at least 4 more cards than you, so it's kind of like an evenly matched situation here to like balance the act. Really cool artwork. I love the artwork, and of course it comes in DT. Unfortunately, it is just a common, but it is still DT, and it's DT2, which is extremely old, and I love DT2. It's like this like birthday cupcake sprinkle surprise looking rarity. Really awesome stuff. And I've always just been, you know, a big anti-meta player in general, and I've always just been interested with kind of board switching cards, and this is just a card I really appreciate a lot, and I just kind of wanted to give it the spotlight because I don't really know if it's been a while. I mean, there was one content creator that I noticed that covered this again, like when I had that small hype about 2 years ago, but other than that, it's just been completely in the dark. And this is a really good card, and the price trends kind of reflect that. Its starting price is 5 bones, and then quickly jumps up to 6, then 8, then 10, and then 15, and then there's only 2 pages on the market. So this thing's definitely going fast. Next is going to be Watts. I wanted to talk really quickly about a few deck archetypes or deck cores. So Watts, I've never personally piloted this. I just thought the different effects were really cool, and they could all attack directly, and they all have a special effect that like negs your opponent when they attack directly. And you know, it's an extremely old deck, and you know, who knows if this is when, if, and ever this is going to get new support. There were some reprints. Watt Giraffe was like the most popular one. It was a soul print super rare for the longest time from a pretty cool set, Shining Darkness, which is really great. And you know, it's calmed down a lot. Obviously, the Ultra reprint has really decreased the value a lot. But there's something about this being like Thunder Lights, and they all kind of got little like silly cartoony artwork. I've always really appreciated this decor, and it was something I kind of just wanted to shine a little light on because, again, it is such an old deck, and with all the new crazy stuff going around, I think it's, you know, this kind of like reminds me of like, I don't know if I'm so bold to say like maybe Gladiator Beast or like X-Sabers. Like these used to be such big popular decks, and you know, with all this crazy fast new stuff that comes around, people just like completely forget. And you know, this is obviously not on the level of being as popular as those decks, but still really cool stuff. And of course, this is the original ultra rare or original super rare print. And I don't know, there's just something about this. I just really like this card a lot, and you know, it's about 2-ish bones before you factor in shipping now with the reprint. So pretty cool stuff on that. Next is going to be Mage Spectre. So again, I'm a big anti-meta player, and just like the Watts, these have a really cool mechanic to them. How they can't be I think it's like destroyed by card effects. I can't remember. I'm going to go ahead and check that out really quick. But this is insanely cheap. There isn't like a lot of support. This was kind of a deck that came out really, I mean, I guess it was a relatively, you know, 2016-ish era was a pretty well dominated by pendulums. Pendulums were completely unlocked and just like doing all these crazy shenanigans, and Konami was really trying to push them and sell them just because, you know, it was the new thing, and it was like kind of like the buck of cash. And anyway, so but this just is, it's these effects right here, how they cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. There's a couple different interesting builds that I tried to make a very long time ago to try to incorporate this in my anti-meta builds, and it didn't really work out too well. Maybe I'm not creative enough. I'm sure there's definitely some really smart, sharp players out there that could make blend some pretty cool stuff in this into like a control anti-meta build. But I always thought that was a really cool engine. All the monsters have this effect. They share that effect. So really cool stuff. So just wanted to shine a little light on Mad Spectre and kind of get the gears turning, and maybe you guys can create some interesting control deck that uses these. Again, not really a lot of support, but really, really cheap. Not really a lot of high rarity stuff too. I mean, the Raccoon is the most expensive and the highest rarity is an ultra rare, so kind of interesting on that. But really cool deck in general. One of the only pendulum based decks that I like. I hate pendulums. I think pendulums is like the stupidest mechanic like ever created, but you know, just personal player preference myself. Player preference. Next is going to be Duelist Saga. So I come back to this over and over and over and over, just like Duel Terminal. Again, Duelist Saga to the day is the only set here in the TCG to have this. And I don't even think, when I was in Japan, I didn't even see this. I don't even think that the OCG has this rarity. We're the only ones. Is kind of like a TCG exclusive to say, to a certain extent. And again, this we've had like Dual Overload and Dual Power and all these crazy just only ultra rare sets, reprint sets. But Duelist Saga, again, this with like Legendary Collections 3 and Legendary Collection 4 and Legendary Collection Kaiba, like those have been some of the most infamous reprint sets like ever. I'm like obsessed with those sets. I think there's just hidden gems all over those sets. I talk about all the time, and this in DT is kind of the other side of the fence that I talk about, that these are just really nice cards that, you know, they're unique because they're the only rarity that we have here, and they just, you know, haven't been reproduced in this rarity yet. So of course, Blue Eyes between 15 and 30, pretty great stuff. Red Eyes of Darkness, really awesome stuff. 9-ish, 8. Blackluster Soldier, Dark Condition, Magician of Faith. This is probably one of the MVPs. Really just wanted to flash review this really quick. The first page, Mizuki, like we already talked about, of course. Fossil Dyna has been going up slowly. Warning looks pretty cool. Tour Guide, I mean, we have Secrets and Ultimates, so this really isn't too impressive, but, you know, it looks kind of alright. But what I want to talk about is Effect Veiler and Magician of Faith. These two cards, maybe even Tsukiyomi, but more specifically Effect Veiler and Magician of Faith, because the only other hollow foil that we have of Magician of Faith, I think it was an ultra rare. It came in ultra rare and speed duels, which is pretty cool, but I would definitely prefer this. I think this is a lot cooler than the speed duels ultra rare. And then of course we have the champion pack super rare, which is extremely old and also carries a very fat price tag, so kind of unattainable. This has been secretly going up for the longest time. This was like 2-3 bones. It really wasn't that expensive, and I love this card. Again, this was like one of like the first cards to be part of like the original OG ban lists, and this was a perfect candidate back in Cookie Cutter Chaos era, which I really loved. It was a long time ago, one of the most infamous sets with like Yada Lock and Witch of the Black Forest and Unerrated Chaos Emperor Dragon and all that really great stuff. Really great nostalgic memories with that. And yeah, this card's like 7 bones now, and it's just trickling up to about 8+, and there's only 2 pages. So this is quickly disappearing off the market. Not really sure why. Well, it's really cool. Again, this is a really cool rarity, unique to itself on its own, and it's Magician of Faith, and this was like banned for like so long, and then it got completely unlifted. And you know, even though it's slow and it's a flip effect, you know, recycling a magic card is really, really cool and really powerful still. Plus, it's a spellcaster level 1 light, and she's got a pimp staff, so I mean, how can you not like that? And the next card is going to be Effect Veiler. So I really completely kind of forgot, but the last couple months I've been really incorporating Effect Veiler a lot. More specifically, when I do my Shadal blends, I like to splash Shadals in a lot of different engines and kind of mix them around. And running a trip stack of Effect Veiler is always relatively effective. Definitely up there on the hand traps for the current game, in my personal opinion. A lot of awesome combos that you can do with it too. Of course, again, a spellcaster level 1 light, can't go wrong with that. Just an amazing hand trap in general. Of course, we have the ultimate rares, the Starlight rares, which I'm not really a big fan of Starlight rares. Again, player preference. I just don't think they look that good, and they're so ungodly expensive. I'd much rather have an ultimate rare. I think it's insane that the ultimate rares are cheaper than the Starlight rares. But enough about that. Of course, there's the super rares, the order cast super rares promos. Those are pretty cool too. I love hand traps and super rares, so that's kind of like my to-go-to. But this is definitely a really great one too. Of course, we have the original ultras, I believe, which was Duelist Revolution, I want to say, which are pretty cool. But these are about 5 bones, and I think this card, 5 bones or under, is like an instant broken mind. This is awesome. You definitely need to pick up on this. Again, Duelist Saga is really unique on its own merit alone, and this is just Effect Failure. Everyone loves Effect Failure, and it always is going in and out of the meta. It's always really great stuff here. So it's about 5 bones starting, and then it quickly jumps up to about 6, and it's pretty much 6 across the board here. Not really a lot of fat stacks, so pretty much all one-ofs besides these 2 stacks, and there's only 4 pages on the market. So really cool stuff going on with Effect Veiler. Link below is going to have the link to my Facebook. I would love for you guys to add me or message me. I'd love to talk to each and every one of you guys. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been part of my life for almost 2 decades. I'm really compassionate about this game. I really hope that you guys are enjoying this content as much as I'm enjoying it, creating it and pushing it out to you guys. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by the White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.